Good morning, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. So later today we're gonna go to the football game, but this morning, because my dad was home, I told you guys that I was gonna go to Valley Produce and Caputo's today, and we were also gonna go to Aldi, but we realized my mom had a doctor's appointment, and so we had to make sure that we got back in time, so we might still wind up going to Aldi later, but still have to go before the football game. So anyways, in total, honestly, I think we ended up spending right around 30 bucks, maybe a little bit more with like tax and everything like that, like with change, I guess, because it was 15 something at Valley Produce and I think they're 15 or 16 at Caputo, so it's like right at 30 bucks pretty much, that we ended up spending. But we pretty much got all the produce for the most part here, plus a couple of other little things that were on sale. So over here at Valley Produce, minus my breakfast that's sitting over there on the table, these items ended up costing $15.14, and I paid with tax it was $15.63. So we ended up getting, you guys can see the deli meats also over here that were on sale, the Eckridge Black Forest ham, $3.81, and then also too, my mom loves this corned beef. It was $4.29 for that we picked up. The bath tissue is actually on sale for $3.50, which I actually thought was a pretty good price, because that's a lot of times what we've been getting some of those ones at Walgreens for, although I do use my points booster sort of thing at Walgreens, or my, what's that called, Walgreens cash booster, I guess, at Walgreens, so sometimes I can get it a little cheaper. But this is like half off what it retails for at Valley Produce. I didn't think it was that bad. It was $3.49, I believe, and it was a limit of 3, but I just picked up the 1. And then the corn was on sale for $1 for 3, or like 33 cents a piece. The I was gonna actually get a cantaloupe at Jewel because they had a just for you promotion, but this was actually cheaper. It was 88 cents, and with Jewel I was gonna get one for 99 cents, but this, like I said, ended up being a better deal. And then the red onions, the 2-pound bag, was 99 cents, and then also the tomatoes, the cluster tomatoes, are on sale for 48 cents. We spent 65 cents for a little under 1.5 pounds on those. And right over here is what we ended up picking up from Caputo's. These items ended up costing, oh, it was actually less, I guess. It was $13.44 after tax. So we were under 30 bucks between both of these stores. So I ended up picking up 2 more of these Grand's biscuits because I got that deal at Jewel a little while back, and I had 2 or 3 of them, and I made 3 things of like chicken pot pie, but my mom used 2 of them for Easter, for the like for breakfast, to do like biscuits and gravy. So I wanted to make sure that I had these in the fridge for when I go to make those freezer dinners. And they stay good in the fridge for a while. So these are on sale for 88 cents though, which I did not think was at all a bad price, so I went ahead and picked up another 2 of those just to replace the ones that were used. And then we also ended up getting cilantro, which is up there. It was 25 cents. And then we got the red grapes, which were on sale for 79 cents. We got about a little over 2.5 pounds. It was $2.13 for those. The Persian cucumbers were on sale for 99 cents per pound, and we picked up just a tiny bit over a pound. It was $1. The lettuce was on sale for 69 cents, so we picked up 1 of those. And then the Fuji apples were on sale for 69 cents. We got about a little over 3.5 pounds. It was $2.50 for those. The cauliflower was on sale for 69 cents. We got a little over 2 pounds. It was $1.39. The yellow onions, the 3-pound bag, was 99 cents. And then the organic cherry tomatoes were on sale for $1.25. There weren't really any meat deals that I ended up seeing this week, and I told you guys again too, like, we've been trying to use up stuff in the freezer, but I feel like we just have not been using up enough too, so we don't have as much space in the freezer for like freezer dinners and things like that. But now that it's starting to get warm out too, I think I need to go through some of the stuff that's in there, because I know that some of the stuff is somewhat older, and also too maybe making some of the pizzas, because I do know that we have a couple, like a lot of frozen pizzas, of probably over 10 in the freezer, which I mean, shouldn't take up as much space as we have in the chest freezer, but I mean, in addition to this one, but like, it's hard to get the one in the house even open. And then the stuff outside too, there's like hardly any room. So I'm wondering again too, like what else is out there? Is there something that's buried deep in the freezer too that we're like, oh my gosh, we totally forgot about this, or we didn't realize this was out here. Like just fast little things too that we can make to try and use up some of the stuff that's in the freezer. So anyways, I'm gonna get this stuff all put away now. I'll share with you guys probably just what ends up happening later at the football game today, because like I said, that's much later today. Got up early today, guys, and it's only like 10:30 right now, so I'm gonna have my breakfast and get this stuff all put away. Well guys, we are back from the football games, or football game, I guess. We just stayed for the Frost-Soft game, which was Jack's last game, although I don't know if I mentioned this before, and I don't remember who I was talking to, guys. I woke up so early today, my brain is all scrambled, and I didn't get much sleep last night, and it's already 1:30 right now. I still need to take a shower and get to bed because I had to finish up my Jewel, and I'm just gonna go to Walgreens tomorrow actually. Probably could have found some more stuff to do at CVS, but I am just too tired to really try and go through there, and I don't have to worry about anything expiring. I do have a register award that's from Walgreens that's not going to expire, I think until like next weekend maybe, or next Saturday or something, but I was like, I just want to make sure that I use that up. And I did find a couple good deals that I wanted to do at Walgreens anyway, but CVS I saw like maybe 2 things, and I was like, I could just pass and do them at some other point. So anyways, I am going to do those 2 stores tomorrow, but I had to finish that list. Again, I'm tired, but now I'm trying to backtrack and figure out what I just ended saying before I, like I said, got on this whole other topic. But Jack they can practice because it's the last Frost-Soft game, because the team that they're playing next week does not have a Frost-Soft team. So it's pretty much like the end of their season. However, they were invited to, if they want to, they can still go and practice with the varsity, for like, you know, just for practice. And I think that they're going to be asking some of the kids, I don't know if all of them or any of the kids that at least still come to the varsity practices, they will invite them to come to the varsity game and suit up. So like, I don't know that Jack's gonna actually get into the varsity game, and again, I don't know if he will even be asked to be one of the people to be suited up for the game. But I was kind of thinking, like, regardless, maybe just him, me, Matthew, and Jack will go to the varsity game next week, since we actually haven't gotten to watch a varsity game yet. And on top of that, like I said, but Jack might, so I don't know if he will actually be there, possibly suited up for the game, even if he doesn't end up playing. But yeah, today was the last game. They actually had the lead, guys. They were up 2 touchdowns to nothing. I think it was 2 touchdowns and an extra, not an extra point though, they ran it in, so it was, I think, 14 to nothing, either the start of the second half or right at the end of the first half. And so they ended up, actually they gave up like 2 touchdowns, and my dad said that the kids were just super gassed. And on top of that too, I know one of Jack's really good friends, and I think maybe 2 other kids or something like that were invited to go play up at varsity as well, for tonight's game. But due to eligibility, they can only play for so many quarters in like a prior game before if they are allowed to play in the varsity game. So like, I don't know what it is. It's either like 2 quarters or something like that, or I don't know what it was. But they aren't allowed to play like a whole game and then go and play a whole varsity game as well after that. Like I said, I don't know the eligibility rules or anything, but they ended up being down a couple of their pretty good kids also. And so my dad was saying like the kids were also just gassed because there were less people to like relieve them also. And so they just like started to run out, but they ended up tying it. The other team did. I don't remember how it ended up happening now. I thought we were up at one point 2 touchdowns to nothing. But regardless, the other team did wind up scoring both of their touchdowns, I know, in the second half. I'm 90% sure that was how it happened. But I'm all confused too, because then after that, so Jack's game either way ended up ending in a tie because the other team ended up missing an extra point that they ended up running in. Which was the last one. They made the first one and then missed the second one, which I was like, okay, phew. So at least it's a tie. And then we didn't do too bad, but they didn't end up winning. And because it is just a Frost-Soft game, they end up ending in a tie. My dad was thinking that they would do the like traditional, I guess, like overtime sort of, where you get it, I think maybe at the 20-yard line or something like that. So you basically have like 2 sets of downs, I think, to get it in the end zone, or maybe even from the 10-yard line. I can't remember exactly. I know one of Matthew's games ended up, I think actually 2 of them, and I think he won the first one and lost the second one or something like that. Between, I think it was maybe his senior year, or no, I think his senior year they went into an overtime game and won it. The following year, after he had graduated, the year before Jack was in school, that varsity team also had an overtime game that they lost. And I thought it was actually against the same school, maybe not the same school, but I feel like it was like the same game, like it was like the senior night game or something like that, but it was like really similar to, I think, the game before that, Matthews. It was just, it had the opposite outcome. So anyways, that's why I'm getting a little confused, because the varsity game, like I said, also kind of went off the exact same way, except the other team was the team that looked like they were dominant. Their varsity team, they ended up scoring 2 touchdowns, and then we ended up, which we watched the game at home on the projector because they're streaming it, just because of, obviously, they can't have as many people in the stands as, you know, would like to come. But I also think it's really good too, because for people that either can't go to the games, aren't, you know, don't want to go to the games but want to still see it, or again to like grandparents, whatever, you know, like sometimes it is stinking cold out, you know, so you can't always, you know, you're not able to go, or you know, whatever the case may be. But the fact that they have this, I'm hoping that even after sort of the post-pandemic, they still have that around. So, like, I think that's really good. I know that a lot of the schools did it. Like last week when they were away, we didn't end up going to that game, but we were able to still watch it because of they were streaming it through their like high school stream. And so then ours did it this week because it was a home game, but we watched that at home. And like I said, the other team ended up scoring 2 touchdowns, and then we ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. Then it went back and forth. I think they scored 1 or something like that, or maybe we scored, then they scored, but it was almost tied up or something. No, wait, we scored the last touchdown, so they scored, then we scored. And then we, I guess, decided to go for the 2 points instead of for the field goal, which would have tied us, you know, at the game. I think it would have been 21-20 at that point, but we would have had it tied up 20-20, and we ended up going for the win to get the 2-point conversion instead, and ended up missing it. But we ended up then stopping them on defense because there was still like 2 minutes left in the game. Stopped them on defense, ended up going down the field. Jack's really good friends, one of the kids that we coached his all 4 years, I think he played of youth football. He ended up having the touchdown actually to what would have tied it if they got the extra point. But later on in the game, that got them into field goal range. They ended up kicking it. It had enough, but it was hooked like slightly to the left. And from the screen, I couldn't tell, like from watching it. And then I was like, did we get it? Did we get it? And they ended up missing it. So we could have won the game. It was super, super close. Like, the kids were super sad about it. But I was like, honestly, the way the game started, to be down 2 touchdowns, and our team isn't very good at coming back from being down, I thought they played amazingly. Like, it would have been awesome to win, but I don't really think that they should like be hanging their heads or anything like that, because it was an amazing game that they played. Getting to watch it, it was like I said, like I don't know that we've ever been down more than a touchdown really and ever came back to tie it or even win the game, really. Like, I'd have to go back and think, you know, all the way back to when Matthew played 4 years ago, or 8 years ago. Like, his freshman year would have been 8 years ago. And I don't know about the varsity, I guess those first 2 years that he was there, but like, I don't know that they've really ever been down like a few, like more than 1 touchdown again and ended up coming back to possibly, you know, be able to take the lead. And so, yeah, like I said, I thought that it was a really, really good game and was very actually surprised at how the start of the game ended up going to how it ended up turning out. And by the end, it was like everything was sort of clicking too. It was just they didn't have enough time, really, I guess, which is one of the aspects of football is clock management. So I guess the other team sort of wanted that too, because there wasn't anything that, like, you know, coaches did bad clock time management wise or anything like that. It was just more like, you know, they ended up running the ball, you know, maybe more, and running down more of the clock when they were up and stuff like that. But yeah, so that happened actually, though. I feel like in the frost off game, we called sort of a dumb timeout with like a minute something left, I think, and I was like, oh, we can get the clock to run down if we can just like stop them. And we ended up calling a timeout, and I was like, that's kind of dumb because the clock was running. And like, but I don't know, maybe there was something like the defense, you know, needed to fix or something, because they just let up a pretty big play. But I was like, okay, if we can just stop them for like 4 downs, we should hopefully maybe be able to run out the clock. But the varsity game to me just seemed more like, you know, if we would have just had maybe an extra like 30 seconds or something like that, we might have been actually able to win it. So, you know, that just comes down to it. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, there's no time left on the clock, which is what happened. They actually did really good at the end, like spiking the ball, getting out of bounds, and timeout. I felt like the clock management at the end of the varsity game was really good. But again, if we had just had like an extra 30 seconds come out of somewhere, like we might have been able to actually have won, which would have been cool. So yeah, it stunk. It's a really tough loss, especially when you're like that close to coming back and like winning it. But it was a really good game. Like I said, one of the most entertaining ones that I have seen in a long time from our high school. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna take a shower now and get to bed because I've been cold ever since I got home from the football game, which was hours ago. So I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.